Hey crafty friends and happy Halloween. It's Tazhiana and I'm back with a process video for the Hip Kit Club design team, and this is featuring the October kits. And my assignment was to make a Halloween layout featuring a cut file, and it was also a product focused layout. So there's a lot happening here and I hope you enjoy the process. I do a few different things on this layout, so there's a couple of tips and tricks I have for you here. The first thing I did was I cut out a bunch of the exclusive cut files that came with the October kits. Kim Watson designed a bunch of Halloween themed cut files. And since I had to make a Halloween layout, I figured it'd be perfect for this kind of page. So what I did originally was I already knew what my title was going to be. And if you see my photo, you'll understand what my title is. But I wanted my title to be What a Basic Witch. Which is a very tongue-in-cheek reference to a more explicit version of the phrase. And so there was a cut file a few months ago that was an alpha, and so I just die cut my title in that font, and I painted it. The other thing I did was I painted this pumpkin, and I also cut out some spider webs, and so you'll see all of that once I have everything, finished watercolored and everything's colored in. And so what I decided to do was, since there weren't any really like overtly Halloween colored things in the kit, I figured why not, cut everything out of white cardstock and paint them. And the paints I'm using are just like a basic watercolor set from Michael's. I think this cost me like $5. So you can get watercolor and, do this yourself. If there's a particular color scheme you want to use and you don't have it in your kit, then make it yourself. It's really, really easy. So now you see like the basic idea I had, and I ended up throwing out my title completely. I had the idea to use 3 colors on my layout, and then now that I'm looking at my colors choices and the title all painted, I did not like it, so it goes in the garbage. Now what I'm doing here is putting my pumpkin on vellum, and that makes it easier for me to move it around. So first I just glued the outside shape to the vellum, and then I glued the eyes and the mouth, and now I have this one pumpkin piece that I can pick up and move around as needed. And now you see the title goes bye-bye. And so the photo I'm scrapbooking is a picture of the Witch's Brew Frappuccino from Starbucks. I go nuts every time Starbucks does something limited edition. I'm very basic when it comes to that, and especially when it's a fun color. Like, I could not resist. Now, I did not drink any of it. I had a sip of it, and I don't know if my barista just made it wrong or if it's just gross, but it was terrible. And so I took a sip of it, I put it down, I took the picture for the layout, and I threw it in the garbage because it was terrible. But it was the perfect color, and it's a Halloween themed Frappuccino, and so what else would I be using for a Halloween themed layout than Starbucks? If you follow my personal channel or follow me on Instagram, I do scrap a lot of Starbucks photos because I live at Starbucks, and so I just thought this would be a fun story to tell for Halloween. So now I'm doing a little mixed media on my background. It is not a me layout if I don't manage to make a big mess. And so what I'm using is this Pink Fresh orange watercolor, and this came in the July color kits. Sorry, excuse me, I'm still getting over this cold, so I hope I don't sound terrible, but this came in the July color kits, and what I've learned from working with these is these are really, really, really intense. And so I'm so sorry. So to get any sort of like diffuse effect to the background, you really, really have to water these down. So I added a fair amount of water to the watercolor, and I did it's a modified version of the packaging technique. I guess it's a modified version because I'm using a Ziploc bag and not actual packaging. But I saw on I forget who did it, but she was saying that if you use a Ziploc bag versus like actual acetate packaging, that you have a little bit more flexibility when it comes to moving the color around. And so I just figured I'd try it, and I actually do like it. The color pools a little bit differently because the Ziploc bag is a lot more flexible than like a traditional piece of packaging that I'm used to using. But I actually do like the overall effect. And since I diluted the color so much, it's just this airy wash of orange in the background, which is what I wanted. I wanted it kind of peeking out behind the vellum pumpkin. So I didn't want it to be so opaque that you would actually lose the pumpkin. And now this purple was in September's color kit. This is a Shimmers. It's called Wisteria Lane. And I love getting the color kits from the Hip Kit Club because it's the easiest way to build up a stash of mixed media products. And the colors match so well, and they actually match each other really well. Like now I have this random purple and an orange in my stash from buying the color kits. So if you are looking to get into mixed media, the color kits from the Hip Kit Club are always a good buy. Now I had printed my photo 2 different sizes, and I don't know what size I wanted to use, and I ended up going on with the smaller size. So the smaller size is a 3x4 picture. I had also printed it 4x6 and like trimmed it down a little bit, but I go with the 3x4 just because the 4x6 felt a little too big. And here is the product I chose to focus on for my product focus. The Whimsical floral die cuts that come in the embellishment kit are my favorite part of it. I need to buy like 3 backups of these because 2 things. 1, I love florals, and 2, I love rainbows. And so I don't know if Paige Evans designed this with me in mind, but I'm obsessed with this pack of flowers. And so working off of the color scheme that I've already picked, which is like green and orange and purple, which feel very Halloween to me, I pulled out all the purple and orange flowers I could find in the pack. And then I also pulled out some green leaves and sprig pieces just to carry the green over. And I'm really happy that I had painted the top of my pumpkin green because it also helps to tie in my color scheme, because orange, purple, and green in theory don't really sound like they go very well together. But I think once you see the overall layout, you're going to agree with me that they kind of match really well. So the other thing I did was I glued down my spiderweb corner pieces because they were falling all over the place, and I actually bunched one up in my paper towel and almost lost it. So I was like, let me just stick these down. So I pulled out these 2 papers from the main kit. One is that orange is Vicky Boutin, and the purple gradient is a Whimsical paper by Paige Evans. And I used those to mat my photo. And I'm going all in with the purple and orange thing. Like, I have committed, and this is what we're doing. So I pull out my edge distresser, and this is a Tim Holtz edge distresser that I got on Amazon. And I just distress the edges of my paper. I just really like the way ruffled edges look. I think it looks really messy and really fun. So I ruffled the edges of both the orange and the purple paper and then matted my photo behind it. So now there's more color on the page. And I gotta tell you, when I started this layout, I had no idea I don't scrap Halloween. Halloween was never really a thing for me growing up, so it's not like a holiday that I'm invested in. And then on top of that, Halloween colors terrify me. Like, I did a bunch of Halloween Happy Mail swaps for some friends, and I did a bunch of pastel scrapping for Halloween. So committing to this purple and this orange color scheme was a little difficult until I found these floral die cuts, which is why I decided to make that my product focus, because it is really easy to tell a story when you have embellishments that match the colors you want. Now, this didn't have to be a Halloween layout. It was the die cuts and the Cutfile that made it a Halloween layout, but the colors in the floral pack just made it easier to tell the story, if that's making any sense. And I actually really, really like the way this layout comes out when I'm finished. And again, I'm 100% like attributing that to these flowers. These flowers are my favorite. So I did a little bit of that thing Missy does all the time. If you don't know who Missy Whitten is, please find her and subscribe to her YouTube channel. She's amazing. But she does this thing all the time where she like puts her layout together and then glues all the individual pieces to each other without like moving things. And it never works for me. But this time, I have achieved it. So I think my scrapbooking level has just gone up 1 more point. I'm very proud of myself. So all I'm doing is gluing my floral cluster to my photo. I like making it one cohesive piece because then I can pick things up and move it around without having to constantly put my flowers back where I want them. So this is pretty much the overall design of my layout. I have my pumpkin, I have my florals. This die cut is from the Vicky Boutin Field Notes pack, and this was included in the main kit. And so I'm pulling out a few other things besides flowers and trying to introduce some different shapes. So I had that black circle frame that didn't work. But then I found this green circle, and it just says notes, but it is the perfect shade of green to go with the rest of my layout, and it just carries the green over more on the right side of the page. And then I had this orange and yellow frame that I kind of cut in half. Now here's where I realized that I made a bit, I don't want to say a mistake, but I miscalculated, because now I'm looking at my layout and I want to put more flowers on the left side at the bottom of the pumpkin, but I've used all my orange and purple flowers. Now I'm like going in through everything in my kit, trying to figure out what I could use to put flowers on the left side by the pumpkin when I don't have any purple or orange flowers. So I pull out that like page of all the flowers and messing around with the idea of fussy cutting some flowers out. That goes out the window. I pull out the cardstock stickers. These were included in the main kit. I'm looking for anything that'll match my color scheme, anything purple or orange or green or something that I can pull over to match my color scheme. Then I decide I want to put a tiny word phrase on my photo. So first I pull out this mint green one, and I decide I don't like it. It's the wrong shade of green. Everything else on the page is like a brighter Kelly green almost, and that mint green was just not right. So instead I put it back and I pick up this lavender one that says make room for joy, and it is the perfect color. And so I decide to actually pop it. First I put some glue down because I was going to put it directly on my page, and then I decided to pop it up on some foam dots just for some dimension. I like having things on different levels when they're on a page, if that makes any sense. So I decided to pop the lavender sticker on some foam just so it's a little bit raised compared to the rest of the layout. So while you watch me fuss around with foam stickers, let's do a little bit of chit chat about Halloween. Like I said, I didn't really grow up celebrating Halloween, but I'm obsessed with scary movies, and I'm finally binging The Haunting of Hill House on Netflix. And if you like scary movies, since today's Halloween, you should totally watch a few episodes of that. It's a really, really good ghost story, and it's not terribly frightening that you can't watch it with like younger people, but it's scary enough that, you know, you'll jump out of your seat a little bit. So if you're looking for something to do after you watch me finish the rest of this layout, of course, you should go to Netflix and check it out. So here we go. I figured out what I'm going to do with the left side of my page. I decided to just go with this green flower. I don't have anything else orange or purple, and there's enough green in the layout that I think it works. So I glued down my pumpkin to the page, and now I'm sticking down this flower. And then I found these little orange flowers, and these were in the sticker book, the Whimsical sticker book. And so now I have some orange and some green. I would have been happier if I could have found a purple flower, but I used up all of them because I am impulsive and I do not plan ahead. Now I'm sticking down my photo cluster, and I am obsessed with the way this looks right now. I think it looks so pretty. It's still really spooky. That pumpkin and those spider webs definitely help. So it's still really spooky, but I still think it looks really pretty. And so I am like totally doing my happy dance now. I went from being a little discouraged after my watercolor disaster with my title to doing the happy dances. I'm pretty happy. So now I go back in that sticker book and I grab another orange flower just as I wanted another little bit of orange. Again, I would prefer to have a purple one, but there weren't any purple ones, so I went with the orange one. And then I pull out a few other things. I pull out the puffy stickers. First I go back to the cardstock stickers and I put some clouds down. For no reason, then the colors matched and I just liked the way they looked. So I put down some purple clouds at the top of the page. And I also put down a shiny rose gold colored one just because there's already rose gold in the layout from the flowers and the leaves. And I also put these on foam because my tiny phrase sticker is on foam, and I don't know, I think it adds a little something to the layout. Like there was no real rhyme or reason behind it besides I thought it was pretty. So now I pull out the puffy stickers and I'm just looking to see if there's any embellishments I can add, and then I grab the enamel shapes which are the perfect colors. And now I have some purple on the left side of my page. I put down some butterflies and some hearts all over the page in the purple and orange and green, just to match the colors that I've chose. And then after that, the only thing to do is put down my title. And I went back to my original title, which is What a Basic Witch. I used the Hip Kit Club exclusive coral color thickers, as well as the Whimsical rainbow foam thickers to spell out my title. And then off camera, I ended up actually matting my layout on lavender cardstock. The lavender cardstock came in the cardstock kit. It's basil cardstock. And then I did some black machine stitching as a border, and that calls the layout done. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed listening to me babble about Halloween and flowers and all the cool things associated. Please feel free to go to the Hip Kit Club website and check out the kits that are on offer. The November kits actually come out they actually start shipping really soon. So get your hands on the October kit if you still want to, and keep your eyes peeled for all the layouts coming from the rest of the design team. There'll be still photos after the break as always, and keep it crafty, friends, and have a great day.